Good morning, everyone. Hope everybody is all good. It's just after 6:30 a.m. I want to record a full day of eating video again today. Not just going over the full day of eating and what I eat. I want to talk about the some of the supplementation. So the subs that I'm taking at the moment that I believe are helping me through this gaining phase as well. I want to talk about some tips and tricks as well that will help you out through a gaining phase when you are pushing more food, because ultimately at some point you're going to need some extra help with certain types of food that you want to bring in with a gaining phase, because as your appetite may start to dwindle a touch, you want certain types of food that's going to aid digestion. It's going to be pretty calorie dense for not a lot of volume. It's the opposite of what you want when you're in a diet phase. So couple of tweaks that I've made since the last full day of eating video. So just want to show you a couple of things that I'm doing with my diet right now. Again, apologise if I sound a little bit croaky. I've just woke up before. So we're gonna get to it. So it's leg day today as well. Got deadlifts coming up. So I'll show you me pre-workout meal, post-workout, all the meals throughout the day, and then I'm gonna go over a little bit of a topic or a part of the video where we talk about the actual supplementation and what I'm taking throughout the day, and what I do recommend for a lot of people, like some of my top 5 supplements. So we'll get to it, so keep an eye out. Another important piece of the puzzle before I forget is hydration when you wake up, right? So first thing when I wake up every morning, literally a couple of these glasses of water, right? So each glass is around 250, 300 milliliters of water. So I'll take on 2 to 3 of those first thing upon waking up. So you're probably looking anywhere between 700 mils to a litre of water within the first 10-15 minutes of waking up. Vitally important. You've been dehydrated overnight. If you've been sleeping for 8 hours, you haven't been drinking any water. That's why you wake up with dry mouth. If you're extremely thirsty, you're dehydrated. Now, why am I saying this? Especially if you train pretty early in the morning. If you're not hydrated and then you're going into the gym, you're setting yourself up for poor performance, number one. Injury risk goes through the roof. Again, your session will just not go as good if you're dehydrated. So making sure you get up, one of your first priorities is getting hydrated, get some water on board. I also like to have a small coffee as well, but I make sure I have my water first. So if you like your coffee, that's also fine, but make sure you're getting your actual water in there as well, and make sure you're hydrated. You just set yourself up then, okay? So vitally important, especially if you're training within those the first 1 to 2 hours of when you wake up. Make sure you're getting your water in. Right, meal one, the classic pre-training meal. Ever since I've been here in Venezuela, I've had the same meal for 3 years for breakfast: plantains and scrambled eggs with a little bit of turkey ham. I've also got some papaya, which is the fruit. I'll show you that in a minute. So we're going to have 400 grams of plantains, scrambled eggs now. Again, I'm having scrambled because they're easier to eat and easier to digest. I got sick of eating just normal fried eggs. That's another thing you can do in a gaining phase. If you're struggling with your digestion and struggling with your appetite, you change some of the textures of your food. So literally going from normal eggs to scrambled eggs, it makes a difference. So yeah, pre-training meal. The main purpose behind this is to fuel the training session. This digests very, very well for me. I have no problems at all with it. So that's my recommendation with your pre-workout meal. Try and keep it the same. Find something that works for you and digests well and gets the job done for the session. You don't want to be feeling sick or farting everywhere again when you're in the gym after eating different pre-workout meals. So keep it the same. But yeah, meal one, plantains, eggs, 300 grams of papaya, 300 grams of that. And I'll have my intra-workout carbohydrates, which is cane sugar as well, and then we're good to go. So let's get stuck in. Post-workout meal. So you remember from last time, it's still pretty similar. It's 125 grams of uncooked white rice, 300 grams of sirloin steak, a tomato for some veggies, and then we've got dates, absolute game changer, and a banana. Now, a couple of tweaks from this one. Now, post-workout, especially in the gaining phase, this is a great opportunity to nail some extra carbs, because you're always going to be pretty hungry post-workout, and your body is always pretty sensitive to taking on the extra carbs. So if there's a time to bring in extra carbs, it's going to be post-workout, because you're going to be quite hungry. So the white rice, easy, very easy to get in. The dates, now this is the game changer, right? Literally 70 grams of dates, that'll net you about 45, 50 grams of carbs. So easy to eat that. So literally, I'm getting close to 50 grams of carbs from some dates, around 70 grams of dates. A banana is around 25, 30 grams of carbs. So you're talking 80 grams of carbs coming from fruit. Very easy to get that in post-workout with the rice. So you get ahead of the game. Instead of trying to have higher volumes food post-workout, utilise being hungry and get in some easily digestible carbs, especially when your calories are high. If you're in a diet phase, it's different, but when you're in a gaining phase and you're shoveling down close to just over 4,000 calories, absolute game changer. So this makes all the difference. I can't tell you how much and how good dates are for this. So I'm gonna get stuck in, starving, just nailed deadlifts, 5 plates for 9 reps. What's gonna come later, I'm gonna go over all of my supplements, some of my recommendations, and my top 5 supplements that I think are the most important. So I'm going to show you that very soon. Right, come outside for the video, mainly to get some peace. The baby's inside, just causing absolute chaos. So in order for me to go through this, I've needed to come outside. But we want to go over supplements, right? This is something I've never really touched on too much, because I think they're important to a degree, but you need to make sure that you've got I'm always big on the fundamentals. You need to make sure that you've got your nutrition on point, your sleep on point, your hydration. If all that's on point, these fill the gaps. These can help. They're not worthless, but I will put them in a bit of a priority order. I don't think you don't need all of this. I've got them separated into, I'd say, like your 5 more so. If you are going to spend your money on anything, it would be these 5 more so than this, right? But this is what I take at the moment, so let me go through each one. So I'll go through what I think are the most important ones first. Number 1, any sort of protein powder. I have to get Sasha Fitness Whey. If you know who Sasha Fitness is, she's some big Venezuelan fitness model. It's the only decent protein you can get here, right? But it doesn't matter, some sort of decent protein powder. Now, with protein powder, right, people, it's always weird to me when people say, well, you don't need protein powder, just eat steak. Well, are you going to fucking eat steak every meal for the rest of your life, 4 to 5 times a day? Are you going to do that? Come on. It's always handy to have some sort of whey protein powder on deck. But if you're traveling, you know that you might need to take a couple of scoops of protein out with you, as an example. It's an easy meal. You can put it in oatmeal, as I'll show you later on. You can put it in yogurt. It's just very, very versatile, and it's one of the most bioavailable actual sources of protein your body is going to digest and be able to utilise. And for a per serving, like cost per serving, it's one of the best, like, cost-effective protein sources that you can have. So I just don't see why you wouldn't have it. So it's just there. You don't need to use it every day, but again, it's a no-brainer. So that's number 1. Number 2, creatine monohydrate. More or less an essential in my book. It's the most researched supplement that's out there in the sports science industry. We know it just flat out works. 5 to 10 grams a day. It just improves performance in the gym, improves your strength. It's a no-brainer. Now, there's a lot of stuff coming out now about should you be taking 15 to 20 grams a day. The jury is still out on that for me. I'm not sure whether it's worth it. I've took 5 grams a day for literally maybe 12 years. 5 grams a day, and it does the business. So if you want to spend the extra money and start having 10-15 grams a day, if you want to do that, go for it. But I've always stuck to 5 grams a day. It does the job for me. So any sort of creatine monohydrate. So there's the first 2. Next one, magnesium glycinate. Now, this is very, very important. I think that this has been a game changer for me over the last 6 months since I've started taking it. It helps me sleep better. Now, I take about 400 or 500 milligrams of this before I go to bed. But again, this isn't going to do much if you're staying on your phone before you go to bed. If you've got your head in a screen, it's not going to do much. So again, that's the first thing to help you sleep. Keep your eyes off your phone, off screens. And if you take this, sleep is deeper. So you wake up feeling more refreshed. You've actually had a full night's sleep. So I'll tell you now, magnesium glycinate, I think it's a phenomenal supplement, right? So you got them three: protein, creatine, magnesium glycinate. Big one, vitamin K2 and D3. Now, especially for a lot of people watching this, I know a lot of my subscribers, you're from the UK and some states in the US as well. You don't get a lot of sun, especially in the UK. Look, I'm from Liverpool. I had 27 years in Liverpool. I know all about the shit weather. Do not worry. Vitamin K2 and D3. We get a lot of vitamin D from the sun. So if you're not getting a lot of sun, again, it's a game changer for your overall mood, your nervous system function. It's just a game changer, right? Now, even me, we're getting a lot of sun here in South America. I still take this. It's a game changer, right? So, final one of the sort of essential ones would be an omega-3 fish oil. Now, again, brain health, heart health, just again, immune function. It's well researched. It works. So they're like sort of your five. If I was going to buy supplements and I was going to go down a route of what's the most important, I would tick off all these first. And now these other, let's say, non-essential ones, they can definitely help. Now let me, especially in the gaining phase. First one, turmeric or curcumin, however you pronounce it. Now, it can decrease inflammation. Now, a lot of wear and tear and stress that you put on your body with your hard, heavy training, especially in the gaining phase as well. So, again, I like to take curcumin. I've found the benefits of it over the last couple of months, but it's non-essential. Now, let's get into the interesting ones, right? Berberine. I spoke about this in my last video. Now, especially on a gaining phase, this is super, super useful. Now, berberine, taken again around 500 milligrams, which is one capsule. Taking one of these before your big carb meals. So for me, I take 3 of these a day. Now, before your big carb meals, it improves your body's insulin sensitivity and your uptake of carbohydrates. It's basically a GDA, which is a glucose disposal agent. So in a gaining phase, when you're pushing your carbs high, it can really help. Just a caveat, you won't need this post-workout because your body is already pretty not insulin resistant, it's insulin sensitive. It's going to be able to utilize the carbohydrates post-workout because you've just trained. The muscles are like a sponge. So things like breakfast, dinner, if they're not your post-workout meals, berberine, game changer, right? Especially in the gaining phase. Another one, again, gaining phase, you're not going to need this in a diet phase because you're in a calorie deficit. So you're already utilizing a lot of your food because you're intentionally going hungry and you're starving your body. So you're not going to need enzymes or super enzymes in a diet phase, but in a gaining phase, they come in clutch because you're pushing down all this extra food. It's just it includes some of the things that were in like do you remember when I was talking in the last video about pineapple? Which pineapple has got bromelain. It's a digestive enzyme. Papaya or papin, I think it's called. It's got those digestive enzymes in. So again, taking this with your bigger meals throughout the day, game changer. So you take your berberine before your actual meal, your enzymes with it, good to go. It just helps the digestion of the food. And then a final one, again, not essential. You're going to get a lot of this from your fruit, or your food and your fruit. So your vitamin C, I just take about 1,000 milligrams of this a day on top of I eat lots of fruit and veggies, as you see with my diet. So I already get a lot of vitamin C, but it's very, very cheap. It's cost effective, 1,000 milligrams a day. It's not essential, but I just take it anyway. So again, to help immune function and recovery from training. So they're the supplements. That's all I take, nothing else. As I say, they're the essentials, and these just help with a gaining phase. So yeah, but again, as I said at the start of the video, you need to make sure you really would focus and prioritise your whole nutritious foods, good sleep, hydration. If that's on point, you're doing all the right things with that. All this stuff can help. But again, if you're someone who, if your diet is not the best and you think this is going to make a difference, it's not. If you're eating dog shit, like, this is not going to do nothing. Do you know what I mean? If someone is eating dog shit and sleeping 4 hours a night and stressed up to the eyeballs, what's this going to do? Not going to do a lot. So you need to make sure the big fundamentals, and then these are the small percents that help, right? So next part of the video will be the next meal, which is going to be some oatmeal and whey protein. Keep an eye out. Right, everyone, back, meal 3. Now, this is probably my smallest meal of the day, but again, I need another protein server and get some extra calories in right now. So literally, this is, again, very similar meal to last time. Oatmeal, so you'll see, 70 grams of oatmeal with blueberries, a scoop of whey protein, 150 gram of pineapple, and then I'm gonna add 2 squares of Lindt 85% dark chocolate. Definitely the best dark chocolate out there, like there's no better than that. Now just to touch on the topic of meals and keeping meals pretty similar, this is pretty similar to last time, and that is the key with a lot of this stuff. Your meals are not going to change drastically. It's doing the mundane and doing it well, finding meals that work for you. You don't have to be a gourmet chef, especially on a building phase. Like, find meals that you like, digest well, you can cook pretty easily, and you're good to go. Now with this meal, just a slight thing I have tweaked. I've went from having 120 gram of oats to 70. I knocked it down because, again, the oats were pissing me off. So I wanted to change the texture of the meal, and I brought in a little bit more pineapple, a little bit more dark chocolate. So I changed the meal slightly, like different foods coming in slightly, just to change the overall texture and feel of the meal instead of trying to put down 120 gram of oats. I'll drop them off to 70. And then I made up for it with some extra pineapple. So again, going back to what I said earlier, changing some of the textures of your food when you are getting deep into a gaining phase and maybe you're struggling with your appetite or your digestion is slowing down, just changing some textures like this, it makes a big difference. So yeah, third meal, nice and simple, digest well. And I'll show you my final meal of the day later on. So yeah. Right, meal 4. Dinner time with the family. You probably hear the baby in a minute. Meal 4 is the classic spaghetti bolognese. 150 gram of spaghetti, 350 gram of lean ground beef, sprinkled on top, Parmesan cheese, and then afterwards some fruit. I'll cut up 300 to 400 gram of melon. So yeah, again, this is just to finish off the day with just filling up all my calories that I need. I like to eat a bigger carb meal, a high carb meal before bed. For me, it helps me sleep. It's around 8:15, probably sleep around 10:15, so this last meal is around 2 hours before bed, but I always sleep well like that. And again, carbs before bed have been shown to help people sleep better, and I definitely do sleep well with a full stomach. So that is the full day of eating. Let me know what you all think. I'm going to put the macros and calories down below so you can see everything. But I'm going to get stuck into this. I'm hungry and the baby's tired. So I'm going to get this down. So smash the like button down below. Any questions that you have, let me know. And I'll speak to you in the next one.